Well, the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition was considered to be a huge fail by a lot of people because it fell below their expectations. The visual presentation, the gameplay, it fell below a lot of people's expectations. And it's a shame because all three of those games were awesome. Vice City 3 and San Andreas, they were awesome, but I don't feel like this particular drawback or this particular failure is going to hurt the legacy of the GTA series. It's not going to really hurt Rockstar significantly in any way, but one has to wonder whether or not Rockstar has any plans on remastering and re-releasing Grand Theft Auto 4 from 2008. Now, you look at the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, one of the main issues that that particular game had was there were a lot of missing songs due to licensing issues, and I believe a few years ago, Grand Theft Auto 4 had that same issue because I believe a lot of music that was featured in GTA 4 was no longer available and got removed because the licensing for the music had expired after 10 years. So, like, remastering and re-releasing GTA 4 could be disastrous because a lot of the music that was included in the original game is what was one of the many things that attracted people to it in the first place. But aside from that, GTA 4 had a great story, had a great look, and I feel like that particular game is overlooked for the most part because of how successful GTA 5 was, and I believe GTA 5 managed to reach somewhere around the ballpark of 140 million copies sold worldwide. And then you look at Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, that was just a more popular entry than Grand Theft Auto 4. Not to take anything away from GTA 4, but San Andreas was more popular. Vice City was more iconic. Grand Theft Auto 3 is more memorable because it was the first action-adventure 3D installment within the series, because if you remember, the first two GTA games were completely different. They were played from a top-down perspective, didn't really have much of a story or anything, so that's why GTA 3 stood out as much as it did. But at some point, at some point, people are going to be clamoring about a re-release of Grand Theft Auto 4, and even though in theory it would be nice to have that on current generation consoles like the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch, it may not be so good in practice, similar to what we got in with the definitive edition with the GTA trilogy. So if anything, I think more people are looking forward to GTA 6, but the problem with that is Grand Theft Auto 6 is not expected to be released until like 2026, and that's a long, long way from now. So, and it's a bit shocking and surprising because Grand Theft Auto 5 came out back in 2013, and that was like 8 years ago. And normally when it comes to GTA games, Rockstar is pretty consistent in terms of creating sequels for their games. So maybe they thought that Grand Theft Auto 5 was going to be the last installment within the series, or maybe they thought that, GTA 5 has set the bar so high in terms of being a commercial success and in terms of sales to a point where they probably thought they didn't have to make any more GTA games. Either way, at some point, Rockstar is going to have to come out with something new within the next few years or so. If they want to remaster and remake GTA 4 just to keep fans of the series preoccupied until GTA 6 comes out, that'll be cool. But if it's going to be anything similar to what we got with the definitive edition of the GTA trilogy, then honestly, I would definitely pass on a remastered version of Grand Theft Auto 4.